What's up, people? I'm over here jamming to my little tune. It's my red lips. Anyway, happy Friday. I couldn't do yesterday in spite of all my great intentions. I told you guys a story about how that guy was trying to get in my car with me and stuff and how it freaked me out. Since then, I don't think I've slept more than 4 hours straight. It's like I have this like anxiety or something. It's real weird. So I was absolutely exhausted. And I think I was in the bed by like 7:30 or something and slept like, you know, I think I woke up about midnight, but still for 5 hours is more than I've been getting. So it's been interesting. It's like with bags under my eyes and stuff. I just haven't been sleeping. But my doctor gave me this pill, so he only gave me 5 of them. I'm gonna take one of them tonight and see if I can give me some rest because this is it's just turning crazy. And I didn't realize it would have that kind of effect on me. So there you go. But anyway, tonight's show is our live advice. We do this once a month. People, normally in our advice, people have to send their questions in advance. Candace picks them, so not everybody gets picked. And sometimes, you don't, even if you do get picked, it's not until weeks or possibly even months later. So on this night, what you do is if you have a question and you need an answer like right now, you can either type it into the chat room or you can call in with it. Let me get the little link right quick. You can call in with your question and just, say it. That works out really well if you don't type quickly, not a fast typer, or your question is very detailed and, there's like a lot of information. Typing it is a little more of a struggle because you only do so many characters at a time. But if you just call in, then it's a lot easier. What's up? Everybody's here. Okay, so let's get started. I always start with some questions that we pull from maybe they didn't make it into the column or whatever. But there's always like questions laying around. I have my phone here, so if you decide that you want to pay by CashApp, I'll be able to look it up. Somebody actually did send in some money, but I didn't see a question, so we'll just wait and see what she has to say. All right, so let's do a couple of questions while you guys get your thoughts together. And once you get your thoughts together, then you can type your question in. But in the meantime, I'll be answering some of these questions that I have from, whenever, whatever. Okay, let's look at number 1. This is a young lady. She's in the 22 to 27 age group, and her boyfriend also in the same age group. And she says, do I tell my boyfriend that my body count is over 100? Wait a minute. Girlfriend, what you been doing? She's been a little busy. I have quite a nook past and have slept with more than 100 people. I've been dating this guy for a month now, and I don't see it as a deal breaker for him. However, I'm not sure if I should tell him or any other nook types of things I've done in the past that plenty would honestly seem as a turnoff. I have a hard time not oversharing my life with everyone, and I feel dishonest if I don't tell anyone something. I also think it would be something he would find put eventually. I don't know. Her writing is bad. If I didn't mention it now, I struggle with being quite insecure on my body count, and I know how it appears to others. Let me just say this. If you want to be stupid, you want to blow this out of the water like you put dynamite in it, then you tell them that. First of all, this is something that no woman should ever discuss with anyone, ever. It's nobody's business but yours. Why you want to sit around thinking about it and then thinking of who you should tell about it is just fucking amazing. It's just like you just looking for trouble. You obviously need some hobbies, a job, to go back to school. You need something intelligent to do with your time. Just sit around and think about stupid stuff like this. Why would you tell some dude that you've only been with for a month something like that? Why do you think that that's his business? Why do you think he wants to know? How do you think that's going to help your relationship improve your communication, make you guys closer? What would you want to tell him that for? That's what you need to think about. You talk about where you have a hard time not oversharing. You recognize that that's what you're doing. So why would you want to keep doing it? Nobody wants to know all that. And men can't handle it. They don't need to know that. I'm wondering how you kept up with them. Did you write them down or something? Why do you even know it was that many? I would have forgot because most of them not worth remembering anyway. So you just you want to forget them, but I'm just kind of amazed because you're kind of young for this. But I'm going to advise you. There's a video on this channel about women who talk too much and tell too much of their business. And it shows this guy on the cover with this little talk bubble that says, "Why did she tell me that shit?" That's the video that you need to look at because you need to understand that what you're thinking about doing is the dumbest shit you could ever do. It's not his business. Even if he asks you, which he hasn't, it's still not his business. So you're just going to volunteer some information to just bowl over your relationship and bowl over him too? Girl, if you don't get some sense, I don't even know what to say. I've been saying that a lot lately. I used to never say I don't know what to say because I always had something to say. But for the last couple of months, these people have been so off the hook, so off in left field that I find myself saying that frequently. I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I just don't understand a woman who would want to fuck herself over and just be thinking of shit to tell a man that she knows is going to flip him out and turn him off and all that kind of stuff. It's just unbelievable. I mean, have you guys ever thought about that though? What is it that would motivate some women to want to tell some guy that they just barely know that kind of information? Have you any thoughts on that? I'd love to hear what you have to say. But in the meantime, let us move on. This is the show where if you have a question that you want to get answered, you type it in the chat room or you call in with it. Either way, that's how you do it. This is the call-in number. Well, it's not really a number. It's a link because it's VoIP. So you got your headsets on, you on a phone, you click the link and it'll connect you back to the studio in the backstage. So I just don't know what they be thinking. I would go to my grave and I wouldn't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't done nothing. There's nothing to talk about. I just don't believe in telling me and stuff like that. It's none of their business. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to question number 2 that we have here while y'all warm up to sharing your lives and your stories and asking your questions. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group, and she says, should I feel put off that a guy I met online asked me to meet him at a hotel for the first time? Yes. Is that the answer you're looking for? Absolutely. You sound like a serial killer. Yeah. Let's look at this. Okay, so she writes, but I really like him. We talk to each other every day, but you ain't never met him. We've been talking for a month, and he is real. We have FaceTime once, and we follow each other on all social media platforms. Okay, and But is it weird that he wants me to meet him at a hotel for the first time? Should I feel put off from that? Although we have talked about being physically intimate with each other, I actually like him and I don't want to just use him to just use me for nook. Is him asking me to meet up at a hotel without us ever meeting a red flag? Thanks. What do you think? Do you really think if a man was interested in you as a person, as someone to get to know, as someone to have in his life, to think fondly of and to respect that the first thing he wants you to do is be back on a mattress? How could you even conceive of that as a possibility? He's thinking, especially since you ain't never met him and you talked about intimate things, which was stupid as hell. He already got you pegged to be a garden tool because you don't have the proper boundaries. This goes for any other young lady. These dudes will try to get you to talk about all that kind of stuff. But he's showing his whole hand. You don't have to be a hoe with him. So he starts talking that kind of stuff. You know what you're supposed to do? Click, hang up, block, delete. Because he's showing you that that's all that he's about. He's not interested in you as a person. He's just interested in using your body. So, when dudes have that kind of focus, they need to be paying somebody because there's people in that line of work that will happily take his money. But what they be trying to do is come up on some free shit and using women who think either the women don't know what's going on or they think if they do that, that is going to mean that they get up with a relationship. Neither of those is true. So, I just want to reiterate for any young woman coming along who might hear this message. If a guy talks to you about sexual things in the early stages of getting to know him, that's all he's about. That's all he's interested in. He's not interested in you. And if you are stupid enough to have that conversation with him back, either I hope that that's all you want too, or it just shows how ignorant and naive you are. That's not a conversation that a man who respects you would have. But that's not what they do. They be trying to make sure they don't offend you. So the fact that he didn't give a shit and he's just going for the gusto, you ought to understand what time it is and how many red flags that is. Not if it's one, how many. So you say, you want to feel put off and you have to ask for validation and permission from me that it's okay for you to feel put off, that he just wants to use you. Of course it's okay. Of course it would be fine if you cussed him out. Of course it's wonderful that you block and delete him. Of course it's fabulous that you never meet up with him and never speak to him again because he's a hoe. And he's hoping that you want to. Okay? So just get rid of this fool. Angelica, did you pay on CashApp? Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. I didn't hear the thing, but hold on. Let me just double check. Where's that little app anyway? This the show question on my internet connection. Oh, here it is. Okay, hold on a second. How do I find who paid some money? I only use this when we do these shows, and so every time I forget how to do it. This is sad. Debsterism, the same name as the channel. DEBSTERISM. And then I will be happy to answer your question. Yes. Yeah. Let me. I think Shay already put it in there, but let me put it in there again. Yeah, that's the Cash App right there. Yeah, see, there it is. Shay just popped it up in there again. Yeah, Cash App is actually better than YouTube because YouTube takes like 65% of it. They just be like greedy and just take everything. I'm like, wait a minute, people. Y'all just doing a little bit too much here. But yeah. So YouTube, I mean, Cash App is better if you have that app. But I tell you, they just be doing too much. Okay, we'll see what Sliver got on there to say. I'm dating a man who has an identical twin. Ooh. Huh. He says he tells his twin everything and he doesn't keep secrets. I said relationship issues are not secrets. How should I navigate this situation? Well, shall I tell you what I would do? I would tell him if you want to tell your brother everything like he's your bitch, then that's who you need to be fucking. Because you're not going to be doing shit here with me to run and tell some other man about it. That is some childish, bitchy shit that I'm just not down with. So, I mean, is that what you want to do? You really think that's appropriate for you to tell another grown man what goes on with between you as a grown man and another grown woman? You need to do that. It's like you're 14 still. I cannot deal with a man with that kind of mentality. So if that's really what you want to do, you're gonna have to do it without me. Cause see, I don't do when they tell their mothers everything. I don't do when they tell their brothers everything. I don't do when they tell their boys everything. I just don't do men like that. I need the strong, silent type that know how to keep their damn mouth shut and keep private, personal things private and personal. Because he don't need to be telling his friend his brother all your business like that. Because the thing about it is, he gonna tell his brother all the good stuff about you. I would remind him, it's like, when you start talking like that, you're gonna make your brother curious about what you got over here. And the next thing you know, he gonna be trying to get it. Are you gonna be okay with that? Because that's how that usually goes. I would say stuff like that to him to make him worry and to see that this isn't really a good thing to do. And that might have been good when they were teenagers and little kids and whatnot. But as grown men, they have to learn that their lives with their women are separate from their lives with their relatives. And the two really shouldn't be crossing over. He hasn't learned to separate from his family yet, which is very risky for you. He would not be somebody I'd want to put much emotional stock in because he's too immature. So you think about that. Hmm. Yeah, see, no. The fact that you have to explain that and argue with him about it shows that he's not that's not the man for you. He's not his value system and his moral stance on stuff like that is at the opposite end of the spectrum from yours and mine. Because I don't believe men should be talking like that to other men about what goes on with their woman. They create a situation where there's just a little bit too much curiosity. And you're gonna be around the brother and he's gonna be thinking about what his brother said about what you do in bed and how you do it and what you say and you get my drift. And he's gonna be giving him the play by play. So the brother's gonna feel like he in the bed with you too. No. Nope. All the nopes in the world. Yeah, good for you. Because he's not ready. And you seem, I mean, of course I don't know you personally, but just from the interactions that we've had here, you seem like a, pretty sharp lady, funny as hell, smart, witty. So I would think that, you have a lot to offer in a relationship, but it should not go to a guy like that who's doesn't appreciate, is not mature enough to understand what he's got. So you leave him alone, throw him back, and you find somebody else. Because that's just ridiculous. He's just doing too much, running his damn mouth. You could tell him, God gave you two ears and one mouth. You're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk, but you had the shit switched up because it's twins and it's two mouths and you just running both of them. Child. High style. Girl. I don't even know what to say. I keep saying that. I don't know what to say. These people just be kind of amazing. Okay, Angelica, I'm waiting for your cash app, and when it comes, I will be happy to scroll up and answer. Well, actually, you probably need to retype it because it done scrolled up, and now I don't even know where it is. Yeah, I cannot with guys like that. They just be telling way too much. They don't even realize how dangerous that is to have, men that are envious or curious about what's going on with you in the bed like that. That's not a good look. And it's very risky for you, especially the brother doesn't come around and knows where you live, has an idea of your schedule. That's all bad. I would never, ever recommend a woman deal with a dude that's got that kind of run. He runs off at the mouth like that, like a girl. Teenage girls do that. Oh my God. And then he kissed me and I saw stars. And then he put his hand around my waist and then we held hands. It was so wonderful. And his skin was so soft and mine was so soft. That's teenage girl stuff. Because all experiences are new. So they want to give each other the play by play because, like their first time doing all these things. But this is a grown man. He shouldn't be telling his brother all that stuff. I just can't believe he thinks that's okay. Wow. Okay, let's move on. We got a third letter here. While we wait for y'all to get it together and want to ask your questions, thank you, Sliver. That was a good one and a different one. I don't think I've ever answered a question about twins like that. There's the link if you want to just use your phone or your headset and click that link, and then you can talk. Tell me your question with your voice versus typing it. Okay, let's look at question number 3. No, let's move on. This one's too long. We're not going to do this one. This is really damn novel. All right, let's look at this one. Creating positive sexual tension to light that spark in a woman. Okay, he been listening to them manosphere lectures where they charge men to teach him little special tricks to get women because I already know where he's coming from. Stupid. Okay, here he goes. As a dude, I feel like I only require 2 things to really be into a woman I start dating. I find her attractive and we have good conversations. From there, I'm ready to go on multiple dates to explore and unlock more levels of compatibility. It seems that for many women, there's also a mental and emotional requirement that's described as a spark. They know it and feel it right away, and they generally have a hard time explaining it because that's something you can explain, it's something you feel. Okay, he must mean anecdotally. From women I'm friends with, it requires a man to play up the sexual tension during the first date, maybe second if the first went very well without this. This could include light touch of the hand or arm or knee, commenting on her appearance in a respectful but flirty way, staring into her eyes in the right moment, bringing up eggplant and other kinds of nook things in a mature manner. So what turns you on? Guiding her as you walk with your hand on her back, etc. I see a lot of guys are frustrated by women and the need to feel that spark. It doesn't make sense to a lot of us, I think. So something about, I don't know what he's trying to say. You should let her know that you think she's sexy and desirable through your actions and words, but obviously be respectful. Read her body language, and above all, don't be creepy. My most recent dating experience with a woman I really liked ended after 4 dates because she liked me, but she didn't, quote, feel it. If I'd taken up these measures, I believe it would have been a different outcome, and I regret it. You agree with my plan? Thank you for reading. No, I don't. Let me tell you about this spark that you're trying to manufacture with all these fake touches and scripted behaviors. First of all, stop listening to them dudes that tell you all to do that stupid shit. That's not how it works. You can't manufacture attraction. You can't build interest that isn't already there. You can't create shit in a woman. Okay, it's outside of your control. You guys are listening to these dudes and clicking on their videos and paying them thousands of dollars to go to their seminars and hear bullshit because that's all that they're feeding you. It sounds good. And to the men who doesn't know anything about women, you're willing to try it because you don't know what else to do. So you're willing to do that. Let me tell you this. When a woman can be walking down the street see a dude who, I don't know, he just triggers something in her. There's the spark. She can live next door to you and you could be the finest thing, got all kind of women falling over you. But you get in her face and she's like, oh. She could be somebody who sees you for the first time, the fifth time, whatever, and she thinks you're cute, but there's no heat. There's no desire to touch you. There's no interest in getting busy with you. She likes to hang around with you. She enjoys your energy. She enjoys laughing with you, hanging out with you, having, your company, going out with you like buddies, like friends. You guys pal around. You spend a lot of time together. But you know what? That's the extent of it. No matter how much you try to be her friend and thinking that, some fruit's gonna fall off the tree into your direction and you'll be able to get them draws eventually, it's not going to happen. We either feel it or we don't. And it happens right away. So y'all thinking that you're going to, manipulate and coerce and manufacture and develop and create and all this stuff that you thinking is not going on, that shit don't work. Sometimes what some women do just to get rid of your ass, they will go forward like that because they want to have a reason to end things. So if by doing that, then they can say, well, I slept with him at least at one time, so now he can go away and feel like he got something and I can go with my life and just be happy without him in it. Because they know if otherwise you're going to keep bugging them to death. I personally don't care about that kind of stuff. I just cuss people out. I don't care what your feelings are about it. But there are women who will do that. And some guys call it a pity fuck or whatever. I don't know what it is these days because, the lingo has changed from when I was young like that. But the bottom line is she does it to get rid of you. It's not with any interest. She don't care. She's laying there thinking about what she ordered from Amazon. And that's about how much interest she has in what's going on with you in the bed. So dudes, like with this mentality right here, you don't create shit. You don't light a spark. You don't manufacture it. Either she looks at you and right after talking to you, sometimes without even talking to you, she feels it and she will want you to be around her. She will want to touch you. It's a chemistry kind of thing. It's nothing that you can make happen. It happens naturally without just under nobody's control. It's not on hers or yours. It's either there or it's not. So these guys who think that they can go through all these steps, because I tell you one time, girl, let me tell you about this time I followed this. I was in San Jose. I will never forget it. So I'm going to where they used to, I can't remember the name of it, where they have like all the bars in Santana Row. So I'm going to Santana Row, but of course there's no place to park close by, so I parked a block or so away. So I'm crossing this main street to go to Santana Row. And I'm by myself, I'm just going to go hang out and look at all the cute white boys because that's what I used to do. And so I'm walking down the street and I see this, he was a more mature guy, I'd say probably in his 40s, a white guy, and he had some boots and these jeans that was just fitting like, ooh. And he was trim. I mean, he wasn't, he didn't have a belly or nothing like that. He had like a six pack and shit. I mean, dude was buff and cut and he had like a ponytail, and it was the kind that's trimmed on the side like this, so the hair just right here. And he had his little beard working and he had like cotton pepper gray and stuff. And I looked, he was cute. I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, what's going on here? The worst thing was I was behind him and he had the Denzel walk. A white boy with the Denzel walk. I could not take it. I followed that motherfucker. I went a block out of my way just so I could walk behind him and see him walking. So then I finally caught up to him at the light, right? And I tap, tap, tap. And he's like, he turns around, look at me. I said, I just want to tell you that you are fine and your walk is something else. You got that Denzel swag, brother. And he just turned all kinds of red. And he just, oh, well, thank you. And he was a rough looking dude, like a motorcycle or somebody like had been in prison. I mean, he didn't look like the typical San Jose office worker. He, had this rugged kind of thuggish thing going on. But I mean, I wasn't gonna mess with him or anything. I just wanted him to know you got it going on. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Now, if I had been in the market for somebody to have me a little fling with, I would have picked him because there was instant chemistry to the point where I'm following this man down the street like a damn stalker. So when the light changed, right? So he's looking back at me. I said, go ahead and walk ahead of me so I can see you walk some more in them tight jeans you got on. And so he did not know what to say, but he took off walking and I'm right behind him like the Terminator. It was amazing. So I just want, I'm just using that story to let these dudes know it's not like that. In my Hawaii story, I see this guy from across the room. I mean, across the walkway, the aisle, whatever you're going to call it, the other side of the street. I see him right that instant chemistry, like somebody lit a fucking match, like a bomb went off. He didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to do anything. He came up to me and introduced himself, and he's like, "Would you like to go with me?" I said, "Yes," and that was it. That was it. And I was with him for a week. Okay, so I'm like, these dudes who don't understand how women operate think that they have the power to make her like them, make her want them, make her do anything. You don't. So stop listening to these dudes who tell you that other shit because they just want your money. A woman is, when you go up to a woman and she's either likes you and grinning at you and wanting to touch you and be up under you and stuff, or she doesn't. If she doesn't, pick your shit up, pick your face up, and go on to the next one. She's not feeling you like that. There's nothing you can do to make her feel you like that. The same's not gonna happen. And that's why they don't understand why they get with, Rollo and Daquan and them. I have a job. I go to college. It don't matter what you got and what you look like and all that stuff. You ain't bringing the heat. She's not feeling you like that. And that's just the way it is. I don't know why they don't get it. Let me see what she says. She said, I was attractive. Yeah, see? Mm-mm. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And sometimes, you have chemistry with dudes and you be like, "Ooh, what's wrong with me?" Because you looking at him and he's like nothing that you would ever really think you want to be with. I mean, he's okay, but you know what I mean? But it's like when you're in his presence, your heart is racing. It's just the weirdest thing. But that's chemistry. You don't control it. You can, you decide to act on it or not. That's what I mean. But the feeling is what I'm saying. You don't control that feeling. It's either there or it's not. Now, what you do with the feeling, of course, you do have that kind of control. But Hunte, I'm just saying, these dudes be killing me. And you see them all online and they be charging these little dudes for their little workshops and books and, recordings and DVDs and whatnot. And it's all bullshit. They be having these dudes thinking that they have this power over women. They don't have shit, teaching them all kind of crazy stuff. And then that's why the dudes can't get a woman because you're using all them stupid tricks that other dudes have used on the women too. And we all know them tricks. We watch them videos just like you do. But we watch them to know what not to do. At least I do. So I can tell y'all what not to listen to. And then, then here come the dude trying to run that game. And here go the woman like, really? You really gonna do that? We're really having this moment right here. Let's move on. So you guys, you want to call your question in? Here is the link. Other than that, I'm going to just be running my mouth and doing these questions because that's what I do. Okay, so yeah, he don't have no standards and no sense. Let's move on to number 5. My girlfriend joked about my grandfather's death. And here I go, what I'm going to say to the women. And yet you stayed. Okay, so he's 24, 22 to 24. She's 18 to 21 group. So we were cuddling in bed and the mood was nice and it was romantic. And my phone was on the bedside. I got a notification. Her face suddenly changed saying that your mom texted you. Your grandfather died. I was just shocked that I couldn't process the bad news. Quickly after she saw my reaction, she said it was a joke. My grandfather's in his 80s and not in the best shape. And a while ago, I dreamt in my sleep that he had died. I told her about this dream then, and she must have remembered how important he is to me. I told her that was a stupid joke, and she destroyed the mood. She apologized, but I don't feel like she understands what she just did. I'm not sure how to handle this, as it's not the first time she did me wrong. For your information, we've been together for a year and 2 months. Well, it's time to not be together. Let me tell you something. When someone emotionally abused, you might not see it that way, because you're young and you're not going to really understand. That was some of the most hardcore emotional abuse and manipulation that I have ever seen. Not only that, it was cruel. So you're supposed to be someone that she loves and cares about and wants to protect. And yet she chose the opposite path. She took a knife and stabbed you right through the heart with it. And then sat there and made it was a joke. So either she's extremely immature and just downright stupid, or she's got this edge where she pretends like she likes you more than she really does. I'm not sure which one it is, but if I were you, I wouldn't even care. She'd be out of my life. But I have to say, for everybody listening, when I was that age, 22 to 27, well, maybe more closer to the 22, I might not have thought this was as important as I do now. But as you get older, you get wiser, and you recognize the risks, the dangers, and what certain behaviors mean, how serious those red flags are. When you're real young, you don't know that because you don't have that kind of life experience. He had enough sense to write, though. And so that's why I'm trying to tell him from your perspective as a young man, you haven't dealt with anybody like this before. I'm telling you, her mind is fucked up. There's no way in this world that somebody who cares about you and loves you would say something that vicious and cruel to you. Like it's supposed to be fucking funny. Like you gonna fall out laughing after she tells you some shit like that. She did that to get to see you be upset, like a typical narcissist. So I'm not really sure what you want to do here. That's your decision. But I would recommend, and especially when you say that it's not the first time she did you wrong, how many times you gonna sit around and let her do you wrong before you finally leave her alone? This is pretty egregious in my book. And now she's developing a track record of doing you wrong, and yet you stay. So you really need to think about what's going on here, sir. What's up, Jazz? Or Jay, whatever, all them letters and numbers, girl, whatever you got going on down there. Yeah, I don't know. And nobody together, what's that supposed to mean, Angela? All these people that's writing in are together. But you know what? They shouldn't be. By the time you have to write an advice columnist and you got this kind of bullshit going on in your life, your focus, girlfriend, is on the wrong thing. It's not about being together. It's about being together with the right person. It's about being together in a relationship that's healthy, that's meeting your needs, and that lifts you up, not brings you down and breaks your heart. These people are in the latter. They're in relationships where they're suffering emotional abuse, mental abuse, being taken for granted, being used, being disrespected, and a host of other things. These relationships that these people have written in about they should leave them immediately. So on this show, we don't focus on being together and just being in a relationship. That's some simple bullshit. We don't do that here. What I spent my entire life, the last 30 years of my life teaching women, is how to make smart choices in men and to choose a man who's going to make their life better, who's going to bring them up, to bring them joy, bring them happiness, not drag them down, have them looking old and tired, crying, and feeling used and taken advantage of. We don't do that here. So just to let you know, that's not the kind of focus that we do, not on this channel. So if you just focusing on some man or somebody get a quote couple, then you need to go somewhere else, because that ain't what you're not gonna get that here. I tell people the truth about their choices and try to elevate their thinking and their self-esteem so that they make smarter choices in their own best interest, especially those women who have children. Their children are seeing this trash these trash ass men that they have, and these crazy relationships that they're in. The kids are seeing their mother mistreated. What do you think? What kind of imprint is that making on those little girls for what they should expect in the future from a man? See, where you got to think about that kind of stuff. Life is not about being in a relationship. Life is about taking good care of yourself, living, making sure your dreams come true, fulfillment, and joy. And if you have it with another person, a partner, then that's wonderful. That's great. I'm 150% behind you. But obviously, these people don't have that, because that's why they write an advice column. So talking about why aren't they staying together is kind of dumb, don't you think? They're having problems, that the problems are insurmountable to the point they don't even know what to do. So they're writing a complete stranger. Even if they have watched the show, sometimes for years, it still doesn't matter. I'm not like their friend or nothing, a family member. I'm a relative stranger to them. At least they trust me to give them a smart, wise and sensible answer. But I just, this is the thing about it here. This this channel is about developing women to be their best selves. And a lot of times that means that you got to leave the man that might have worked for you at 18, 19, 20. Now you 30, 32, it's not working no more. You got to have the courage to leave that behind and explore new options. So let's move on to question number 6. How long till a girl gets over her past relationship? I met a girl last October that I was really attracted to. We just kept it friendly, but I did notice sometimes that she would be a bit flirty. When this would happen was when her and her ex would fight and take a break. Fast forward to now, they've been apart for about a month and a half. From what I know, from the past year and a half, they would break it off and get back, and he would be miserable and break it off. The other week rather, she mentioned how she doesn't go outside as much anymore now that she's single and that she's going to date older men now because of immaturity. She knows I'm 5 years older. I asked her to work out with me, so we went and worked out and we got really touchy with each other. People think she's into me, as there are a lot of other signs. When we meet, it's always a good time. It's just that she doesn't initiate through text. She'll mention that she's not doing much on certain days or she's been wanting to insert activity, but she doesn't have anybody to go with. I always have to be the one to reach out and set up things like working out. She shows up though, and we have a good time, and she mentions having a good time. I'm hesitant because she just broke up with that guy and a month and a half ago. Should I just keep hanging out and having a good time till I know she's over it? She never really mentions her ex. All my girlfriends say I'm way better looking than her ex and not to worry. Well, obviously she's didn't pick dude for his looks. So that's shallow man stuff. Y'all want to pick somebody for their looks. Who knows why she keeps going back to him, but she sounds stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you do it one time. How many times you need to go back to recycle the trash? You recycle the trash one time, okay? Let's move on from that. But I'm gonna say this. Right now, just continue doing what you're doing. I would also, if I were you, date other women. You need to keep yourself balanced. And she needs to understand that she ain't the only player in the game. Now, what might that do? If she does like you, it might motivate her to get off her ass and take more initiative because she'll think that, somebody's going to snatch you up. And if she's made a decision that she wants you, then that's going to motivate her to do something about it. Otherwise, if she just lets you go and go deal with the other woman and she ain't doing too bothered, that means she's still emotionally attached to her ex, in which case you would have made a wise decision to go off with someone else. So from my perspective, you can't lose by dating somebody else. You can lose by focusing all your energy on her. You understand where I'm coming from? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Here's the link. Here is the link. I'm looking up here. Make sure I didn't miss something. Okay, yeah. If you guys send a cash up, you got to let me know to look on my phone, because where is it? Oh, here it is. Because me and this phone. Me and this phone. Okay, so I did get somebody. Okay, so she says she has a question. How do I tell a friend something? Okay, did you see a question like that, Shay? How do I tell a friend something? I don't see it. Am I blind? Well, Miss B, I have your payment. I'm looking for your question. I don't see it. I'm blind. Am I blind? Shay, am I blind? I have no doubt that I have issues. I'm looking. I don't see it. So anyway, type your question. She used you used the screen name. Oh, you did? That was you, Sliver? Okay. Is this it? How do I tell someone I care about and have been with that she has chronic, oh, chronic halitosis? I was hoping it would go away, but after years, I realized this is her fragrance. Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but do you know about her dental hygiene? I mean, has she been to the dentist? Sometimes, people just need to get their teeth thoroughly cleaned and their gums, deep clean because they don't floss well and they have food bits in there marinating. Food bits under their gum and between their teeth that might be, growing a culture or something. She may be, but her diet, because some of the funkiest. Okay, like I had this girl who used to do my nails, and she told me while she was doing my nails that she would poop like once every 5 or 6 days, and I'm like, oh, what are you eating? I asked her, and so she told me everything was like concentrated, fried, whatever meat. I think she was Vietnamese, and so she was some kind of Southeast Asian. And so then I said, okay, well, what I want you to start doing to turn it around is eat an apple every day for breakfast. Every day you're going to eat an apple. So the next time, it's every 2 weeks, right? You're going to get your nails and you get your little fill and whatever. So I go back, and so her name for me after that was Apple, because she said she was pooping every day and her breath was way better. So, sometimes it's that people just be kind of backed up and constipated. So they have like rotting food in their guts and stuff, and they're talking, and those they're getting wafts of those scents from all that stuff rotting in their intestinal tract. I know. It's kind of gross, but it just this happens. So, sometimes people have infections. A sinus infection will give you a funky breath. But I can't see how she would have that for years, though. Seems like she would have got rid of that. So it's probably her diet or her teeth. Most likely it's one of those two things. So if it were my friend, I would say, most people aren't rude like me, but I would say, girl, are you aware of the fact that your breath is humming? And it's been humming for years. You need to take your ass to the dentist and get that shit checked out. When's the last time you went and got your teeth cleaned and stuff? Because you be like trying to talk close to people and people be turning their heads. Have you ever noticed that? Nobody want to be told you talk close to them. How can you even date somebody? I'm sure they don't want to kiss you, but they got to creep up on that breath from the side. That just is horrible. Do something about that. Or if it's not that, because she goes to the dentist and it's her diet. It's like, girl, you need to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables because your breath is humming. That means you got shit rotting in your body, and that them fumes is coming out every time you talk to somebody. So you need to do something about that. So see, either way, I would just tell her. I would just have to tell her that you killing the world here with your breath, your BREF. But I mean, their feelings might be a little, some people might get a little offended or whatever. But your offense at your funky breath you got, killing my nose, is nowhere near as offended as I am. You're gonna have to do it, Sliver. Because get your nerves up, do some push-ups and shit, eat your Cheerios, have a bowl of Wheaties, and then just tell her. I don't know. I think if somebody told me that, I'd be sad, because I'm like, why didn't you tell me before? Why you let it go on for years? I mean, I would be upset like that, but I would do something about it immediately, because a lot of times people can't smell their own breath. But I would be offended that you didn't tell me. It just let me walk around free in the world, killing people with my breath. And you're supposed to be my friend. And he just let me just be wild like that. I would be upset at you. What'd she say? And the child told me, your breath. Oh my God. Yeah, that's the thing about little kids. They'll just tell you because they don't care. All these things we have, these social mores and, tact and all that kind of stuff. Little kids don't know nothing about all that. They just going to call it as it is. You fat, you ugly, you stink, your breath is humming. They just going to tell you. You eat too much, whatever their issue is, their observation, they're going to tell you just real straight and just matter of fact, and they just walk away because that's what little kids do. Oh my God, that is too funny. Yeah, I used to be a little kid like that. I told my auntie that she stinked and that she needed to take a bath. She was about 16 or something. And everybody said, I was like 3 or 4 years old. And so they said she went right in and took a bath too. Like, whatever. If you got a little kid 3 or 4 years old telling you stink, that means your ass is funky. Get in the nearest body of water and take care of that. Oh my God. All right, let's move on to question number 7. This is a young man in the 28 to 32 age group, and he says, I have been single all my life. I want to be in a relationship, but I don't have any experience dating. I'm not even sure I'm ready to date. I don't really like being around people, even talking to people. I like being alone because I feel like I won't be judged for being myself. I think I'm just venting my feelings, but I don't even know if it's worth dating someone at this point. I'm so lost when it comes to this stuff. I don't even know where to start looking for a date. Okay, first of all, this is what you're going to do. First of all, you have to decide there's something that you want to do and that there's a benefit to it. Right now, you're saying there's no benefit, so it's pointless for you to even venture out. Because most of this that you put in here, you like being alone. You're not sure you're ready. You don't like being around people. You don't even like talking to people. You don't know if it's worth it. You think you're going to be judged. I mean, so far, everything that you said about dating is negative. So until you see the positive benefits of it or the possible positive benefits, there's no point in you trying to date. You understand, son? So think about that. When you get to change your mindset, then you'll be ready. And it's not that you have to have experience, because most of the experience that you're going to get is a waste of time anyway, because people be stupid. But hopefully, you can at least go out with a couple of people and just see what it's like. Have a little coffee or ice cream or something. No big deal. Not like you have to get married to them. You post your question in here. You pay your $10 on CashApp or YouTube. And then you type your question in the chat, or you can click this link that I just posted. And then you can ask your question on the air. It's better to do that if your question is kind of long or has a lot of detail. It's better to call it in. But if you type pretty quick and you can get right to the point, then you can just type it. So either way works, and then you get your answer right here, right now. In time for the weekend, time for your Friday night and Saturday night date. Okay, let's see what this guy says. I've been in a relationship with my fiance for over a year. Okay. What's this going to be happening here? She keeps doubting I have a kid and an ex-wife, but won't tell me who is the one spreading these lies. Should I be worried? I've been in a relationship with this girl for over a year, and we recently got engaged. For the second time, this mysterious person tells that I have a hidden child. I'm shocked that she even asked me if this was true. To make things worse, she won't tell me who this person is and what the details are. I explained to her that it's important that we don't hide things like that from each other and trust each other. She says she doesn't want to cause trouble, but I think that's BS. I think it's one of her relatives who's spreading the rumors. Regardless, I'm having second thoughts. I don't think I should marry a girl who doesn't trust me with details like that. Please give me your opinion and advice. How should I react? You should tell her, look, I don't know who's telling you this, but you need to think about it. Does that person have a vested interest in making sure that we don't get married? Is that person like you or does that person like me? There's something you need to think about before you start blindly believing people who don't know me as they're telling you some information that you there's no proof of that because it's a flat out lie. So I'm gonna tell you this: you go and you do a background check, and you find out. You pay your little fee, and you find out what it says about me being previously married or being associated with any children. You do that to rest your mind, so you can put this behind you. And I'm gonna say this: if you bring this up again, we're through. We're gonna cancel the engagement. I'll get my ring back, and the marriage will be off because I'm not gonna be in a situation with a woman like that who believes lies with absolutely no proof and just lobbing these charges at me like I'm guilty of something. I'm not gonna do that to myself. So you make a decision what you want to do. You want to get yourself some peace of mind? Go do a background check. Do it. Nationally, it'll tell you if there's ever been a marriage license issued in my name, and then you put all this behind you. But if that's not what you want to do and you want to keep believing lies, then we're going to break up because I'm not having it. And that's what you do. I'm surprised you didn't say that the first time she said it, because they come with that he said she said stuff. That never ends well, because that means that your partner is believing some outside person more than they believe in you. And like I said, you could see it if there's some evidence of that. They would be like, it had come up before, like you had mysterious phone calls from some woman, or your check was showing large amounts, like for child support sucked out of it or something. I mean, there's some questions there, something that could lead to this to be true. That's one thing. But if there's nothing and she's just going on the word say so of some random person, well, that lets you know that she's weird. And she's not the kind of woman that you want to trust your life and heart with, because she don't got your back. She likes to stir up shit and believe other people outsiders. So you would always be caught in a situation with somebody like that. They could just say, I saw your husband in a club and he had his tongue down some woman's throat. You ain't even in the club. You probably not even in the city. You visiting your mother, stayed away. But suddenly you was in this club and she believes this person. You see what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. No evidence, no proof. Just believing them on the strength that they said so. So you got to think about what kind of mentality that is and if that's what you want to be married to. Personally, I would just put her butt in the wind and get my ring back. If your question is long, call in. Don't type it. Ugh. It's because then you got to have like part 2, 3, 18. Just click the link and call. There's the link to press the thing and just call. Check my Cash App. Okay, thanks, Shay. Where's my phone at? Oh, here it is. Something just came. Okay. Jones. Oh, okay. You typed, but it's too long. Girl, call. Where is it? I don't even see it. I'm scrolling. Scrolling. Okay, here she goes. Okay, so you're not going to be on camera. It's just your audio. Okay, I'm adding you in. What's up, girl? Now tell me your problem. What's happening? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh my God. Okay. I love your show.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Can't stand your bitch ass.
Okay.
What's your question?
I think it's a delay.
Oh, okay. Well, just go ahead and talk. I'll get it.
Okay, so I just want to know if I'm the asshole.
Oh,
Um, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm trying to like get it through, but the delay is like messing me up.
well, don't listen to yourself. Just talk. Turn off your speaker so that you don't hear the reverb, the voice coming in. I'll hear you. That's all you
Okay,
have to worry about. That'll make it easier.
all right. I'm gonna turn off my speaker.
Yeah, do that, and then you won't hear yourself because that will be confusing.
Okay, so me and my sister, we got into an argument because
Wait, something's still on. You're getting feedback there.
yeah. Let me try something.
Oh, what happened? She went to bye-bye. I guess she'll call back. Diana telling Sliver to bring Listerine. Listerine, scope. It leaves you with minty fresh breath. Listerine smells like somebody's medicine cabinet. Okay, what happened? She left. She left us. Okay, here she goes. She back. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I don't hear any feedback, so I think we're on the right track here.
So I got into an argument with my sister because she say I'm an asshole because I have a 17 and a 19-year-old niece, and I told her I'm telling my nieces not to reproduce.
Okay, she had a problem with that?
And in telling them that, she's saying that she's upset because she's saying that I'm denying her the chance to be a grandmother.
But they're 17 and 19. Why is she
So I'm
trying to
trying to
push
get the
them?
story out. The lag is so bad on my end.
No, just keep talking. You keep waiting to listen to yourself.
Oh, okay.
Don't listen to yourself. Just keep talking to me. That's why I said turn your speakers off so that you don't listen to hear yourself.
Okay.
And you just talk. Okay, so go ahead.
So in my family, we don't have people that are successful at all. So I'm just saying, like, she's really upset with me about that. And that's basically the gist of it. And I just want advice with it. Like, I wish I can like speak over the lag, but I'm having a hard time doing that.
Because you haven't muted your speaker. If I can hear it, that means you can hear it, and that's not how you're supposed to do it. All that's supposed to be turned all the way down or muted so that you're just talking. If you can hear it, you're getting feedback, that's because you're listening to yourself over the speaker. But I'm going to say this from what I heard. What dreams does she have for her girls besides being baby makers? What dreams do the girls have for themselves? How is being a baby mama at 17 or 18, 19 years old going to impact those dreams and goals that they have? That's what your sister should be thinking about, not being a grandmother. For all she knows, the girls, they might not want to have any children ever. They might not want any children until they're in their late 30s. Whatever it is, that should be their decision. She shouldn't be trying to pressure them into, giving up whatever it is that they want in order to give her a grandchild. She want to have a grandchild, tell her to take her ass down to the SPCA and get her a dog. She can have a fur baby like everybody else. But I don't think that um, I don't think that you're the asshole. I think that you're presenting your nieces with options that their mother is not. And it's very important that they know that it's okay for them not to have children. It's a fine lifestyle, that they should travel and get as many degrees as they want and date as many people as they want to from every corner of the world and have themselves a good old time, buy themselves property, do whatever they want to before they start making babies. Because once that happens, it's not that they can't make those dreams come true, but it's like you can't move that fast. You can't spend on a dime when you got a kid, especially when they're little. They need, care, and they have schedules and stuff. You got to always make time to feed them and nurse them and change their diapers and all this old stuff here. Whereas when they're a little older, they can do all that kind of stuff independently. But I think that, she's upset because you're telling her girls another option that maybe she is jealous that they would have. They wouldn't be thinking about having kids like she did. They'll be doing something else with their lives. Something that's going to make them fulfilled rather, and successful, which, as you pointed out, no one else in your family has had. So that's something to think about. That's what I'm thinking. She's kind of confused and maybe a little envious that they would be living a lifestyle that she didn't get to live. Because I can't see why a mother would be pressed about someone telling a 17 and 19-year-old not to reproduce. That should be the first thing from their mind at that age. So she should be singing that song right along with you. Like, don't you even think about it. It's not even on your radar. Instead of trying to denounce what you're saying in favor of them having babies. She's got something wrong with her. What's that she say? Yeah, see, 3 baby daddies. Has she ever traveled? Has she ever been anywhere, done anything positive for herself? So, but she got daughters who have a chance to live that lifestyle and send their mother postcards from Paris and Florence and Geneva. And she's not, a lot of parents have that crab in a barrel mentality. I actually have a video like that, crab in a barrel baby mamas. And don't think just because it's a mother with daughters that she doesn't have that same envy with her own kids. And that happens a lot. They want the daughters to suffer like they did. So they come up with this, well, I'll help you with the baby, and, God will make a way and all that old stuff. And so the girl gets trapped. And then as soon as the baby comes, well, that ain't my baby. You're going to take care of your own baby. So, yeah, she's never, see, that's what I'm saying. I think it's that. She can see them living a lifestyle of the rich and famous, even though it really wouldn't be compared to her being a baby mama. It's the rich and famous. And she's feeling concerned. She's feeling like they're going to outshine her, that they'll have a better life than she had. But for most parents, that's what you want for your kids. You don't want them to make the same mistakes that you did. But there's a lot of parents that want their kids to be no better than them. So I'm not sure what their mentality is, what kind of insecurity that is. But there's a lot of people, like men and women, who are like that. She say, yeah, or they need something. You right, DP. What? Oh no, she's trying to sabotage their lives. Girl, you better take them down there and get them that implant. If they're gonna be, doing all that stuff, they might not have any interest in it. But with the way things are now, a lot of women are saying no, they're not interested because of the abortion thing. They be stuck with a kid. And that sounds like what she wants her daughters to be, is stuck. I'm glad you told them that. Thank you for calling in with that question so that they can have some options. That's just terrible. That's terrible. Okay, this is like super long too. We're going to skip this one as well. I don't know how many questions I have here. I can see why this one didn't make the column, but we put it in here. That's not going to work. Okay, this is question number 10. You're scared. Don't be scared, Jones. You did the right thing. You did absolutely the right thing and keep singing that same song. Start showing them travel brochures. Show them options for their lives. They need that to counter what their mother's trying to do to them. Okay, this young lady says, am I a jerk for blocking this guy the same day that I met him? I'm 26 and I went to pump air in my tires today. The machine wasn't working, so I asked the person who was on the outside to come and help me. He asked for my number and I told him he could have it after putting air in my tires. So we exchanged numbers. He texted me, but I waited until after 3 to respond. Conversation seemed slightly normal, but then things get weird. He mentioned that he's, quote, very, very possessive, that we can, quote, come into a relationship. I tell him I like to take it easy and take things slow, given I literally just met him that morning. He asks for my social media and says, follow me now, please. He also goes on to mention that he's very trustful and he trusts me and that we could give each other's passwords to show how loyal we are. Again, I mentioned I like to take things slow. I also asked if this was an expectation in previous relationships, and he goes on to say how he hasn't been in a relationship since being in his home country when he was a kid. After a little more back and forth, I blocked him. It was so suspect. It was so strange for someone to speak to me as if we were already together. A part of me was scared he might have been trying to scam me or worse. So I just want to know from your perspective, am I a jerk for blocking him so soon? I feel kind of shitty given that that's my favorite gas station and I don't want to see him ever again. Girl, gas is gas. If you don't want to see him, then just go to a different gas station. Don't matter. But yeah, I think that you did the exact right thing. Actually, I'm surprised you didn't do it before that. When he started saying that weird stuff the first time about I'm very possessive, that's when he would have got the click and the block from me. I don't do possessive men. Possessive means jealous. Jealous means controlling. Controlling means violence. I just, no. So you did the right thing. Don't feel shitty. Feel good about it because you did the right thing. You made a good decision to protect yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. Ooh, yes, Shay throwing up them X's. That's what I'm talking about. Shades of the past. And she was Lady Boss. She throw up them X's and we'd be like crying, laughing. So yes. Yeah, he's got some issues. But she dodged a bullet getting away from this fool. Okay, so here we go with another one. Okay, ooh. This girl asked, why do guys like holding throats? I went on a second date with a guy. He's in his early 30s. And while kissing, he lightly put his hand around my throat. He removed it when I told him it scared me. He didn't do it again, but this is the second person to try and hold my throat while kissing. Is this a guy thing? No, it's a perv thing. They be watching too many of them popcorn movies where they do that and those little idiots. See, dudes are stupid. Now, and this is men of all ages, all races. What they see on TV or in a movie, they apply it to real life. So because they think that what they're seeing is real. And it's like when they're watching those movies, the little dweebs don't connect the fact that these people are getting paid to fake like this is so wonderful and wonderful and exciting and it feels so great. They're not real women. Those are actors and actresses and they're being paid. They're no more realistic. What's going on with them is no more realistic than Fred Flintstone and Barney the dinosaur. Okay, that's about how realistic it is. But no, men are stupid. And so, like I said, they always think what they see on, if they see it, then for them it's real. And it shows that that's a mental problem. But so many men have that issue. I've noticed it like my whole life. It's they all have that vision like it's real, and if it happened on the TV or the movie, then that means that that's how women really think and that's how women really feel. It only applies to women though. They don't apply to anything else, just to women. And they think they want to believe that what they see on TV or the movie is what really women really think or what women really want and what women believe and how women will really respond and how women will really act because they saw it on TV. or in a movie. It's the damnedest thing. I just don't understand the mentality. But that's where they get that from. And they think because the girl in the movie, the little popcorn flip, was all, flipping around and just acting like she was in ecstasy, thinking about the $10,000 she's going to get when this shit is over. Well, they assume that all women must like that then. They must like that because look at her. She likes it. So what's wrong with everybody else? Like, they must like it too. That's how they think. So what you need to do, I'm going to advise, because this seems to be a recurring pattern with young women, and this has been going on for the last couple of years. Women talking about dudes doing that kind of stuff to them in intimate moments or kissing or just, whatever. Tell them in the beginning. Soon as you meet a guy and, it looks like it's heading in the direction of getting intimate, you say, look, motherfucker, let me tell you something right now. I don't know if you into all that kind of freak shit that they have on the internet, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't you even think about doing any of that stuff to me. If the first time you put your hands on me in a way that I don't like, we're through here. You try to do some freak shit like you think that that's exciting to me and you ain't running by me and ask me if I like it, as you do it anyway, we're done here. And you'll be lucky if I don't stab your ass. So I'm just putting it out there. Don't you put your hands on my throat. Don't you try to put nothing in my butt. Don't you bite me. Don't you think you're going to hit me. None of that shit. Nothing like that is going to happen. The second you do it, you'll be lucky if you're not bleeding or in jail. That's how we're going to roll. So if that's a problem for you, then we don't have to do that. We can just stop right here. That is what I suggest that you ladies start doing. Because these young dudes are off the hook, stupid and ignorant about women and romance, and they don't have any fucking clue. And they sit up there watching those stupid movies and then want to act like that, put that stuff into motion like that's exciting. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to do another video about that butt stuff. Y'all better stop letting them do that to you. I made my first video about that 7-8 years ago, warning women that was dangerous, talking about the surgeries that the girls are having, getting ostomy bags and stuff in their 20s by trying to pleasure these dudes, letting dudes go up in their butts and stuff like that. You don't do that. And now finally, some medical professionals have come out and produced a medical recommendation that women avoid that because of the damage to their bodies. But, it's always somebody, some especially dudes, going to come back and say, well, I've always done it with the women like that. No, you do it. Let some women do it to you so your shit won't stay up in your ass. Let's you do that. They think that women are just here for their pleasure. And so you young, stupid girls are letting them destroy your bodies permanently to the point where you have to go and get surgical repairs of your butt because you was trying to please some motherfucker that just wanted to do some nasty freak shit. So we're gonna do a video about that. Yeah. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why you let them do that kind of stuff to you. Because they'll be watching that shit in the movies and then they want to do it to real women with no kind of concern for the fact that this is gonna damage her body permanently. They don't care. And I'm telling you, young girls that let them do that shit to you, talking about, well, it's okay. I kind of like it. You're stupid. You're going to like it when you had that ostomy bag on your side. Because I tell you that this gay dude, that's how I first knew about that. He told me, don't you ever let no man do that to you. And this was, I was like fresh out of college. And so then he's like, well, because he had to get a surgery. And he had an ostomy bag. And we went to this Chinese restaurant. And, had a line where you go through the buffet, like you have, like noodles or rice and then 3 items, that kind of, little buffet. So all of a sudden you could smell the smell of raw shit because his bag emptied out. He was so embarrassed. So we had to rush back to the office where all his stuff was so he could, clean it up and change the bag. And then I never knew about an ostomy bag. I was young. I didn't know I always knew it was all of a sudden it smelled like shit. And I was like, what happened? And then he was honest and he told me because he had to have a surgery. And then, while his backside cleared up, he had this thing on his side. And, he asked me if I wanted to see it. I said, oh, no, that's a little too much reality for Deb. But I really like this guy. He's just a really sweet man. But later he died of AIDS. And when he told me he had AIDS, I must have cried for hours. I had a picture of us together, and we both looked so happy. But 2 years later, he wasn't here anymore. So I'm like, dang. But anyway, all of that, I tell you guys that story so that you understand how serious this is. If I have a gay man warning me of the dangers who's had the surgery to repair his butt, don't you think I'm going to listen? And don't you think I'm going to share that advice with you so that you don't end up like him and all these millions of other women who didn't have anybody to tell them that and they went forward with that activity? You have a coochie, and that's all that's for. That other hole is for exit only. That's not for anybody to put anything in. Okay. Don't let them do you like that. Let's move on to this next question. So this girl says, my significant other, oh, this looks long, of 5 months just told me that she doesn't want to be exclusive. So this is a guy writing. Okay. She doesn't want to be exclusive, but has strong feelings for me and wants to keep seeing me. We've been dating for about 5 months. When we first met, it was like a dream. She's witty and always positive and supportive, and I feel very comfortable and safe around her. I can, easily say it's the most easy and fulfilling connection that I've ever had. We've been pretty serious about each other and texted each other daily, hung out at least twice a week, and always had fun. We hadn't really had any fights and arguments. In my eyes, it was easy love. But 10 days ago, we were on a date and she brought up the question of, so what are we? I was kind of ready for it, and I couldn't wait for us to be official and exclusive, even though I haven't been seeing anyone since I met her. To my surprise, she mentioned that she had been seeing and sleeping with other people that she had met before me. This came as a shock, and I didn't have any words to say. But at the same time, I realized that we never had the talk, so she could use that as an excuse. She also told me that she has the strongest feelings for me. However, I expected her to at least say that she's going to end it with the other guys and we can be exclusive and move forward, but it was not her intention at all. She seems to want to keep all the other relationships and still see me. I cannot see myself doing this at all. It is simply against my principles and values. Nobody can change those. So I'm confused, upset, and lost. I confessed my feelings for her and told her that I want to be her cheerleader and love her for who she is and help her to heal through everything. And that exclusivity doesn't mean marriage or moving in together, but rather just a commitment for us to get to know each other on a more deeper level and see each other more often. She didn't seem so receptive. I then asked her, well, why do you do this? And she started crying, saying that she's hung up on her ex from a year ago and is lost and might be going through a phase. I hugged her up and told her that I've been there and for her to follow her heart, etc. We switched topics, had a few drinks, and called it a night. We texted the next day for a bit, and she seemed a bit distant. So I have since gone no contact, 10 days now, and I have no idea what else to do from here. I really love her and want her in my life, but at the same time, she hasn't shown any interest in trying to make it work or talk further about it. Her birthday is coming up next week. Deb, do I break my no contact? Your thoughts and guidance are appreciated. Nope, you keep it moving. You've gone no contact for 10 days. Let's keep it moving, dude. You mentioned that this is your morals and values. Those don't change. She's already told you that her morals and values are not in sync with yours. What are you even bothering to think about this for? She don't want what you want out of life. Okay? She's not like you. You need to find a woman who's like you and who wants the same thing that you do with you. Okay? You just be beating your head against the wall here. Whatever's going on with her, she wants to still deal with a whole bunch of other dudes even after 5 months. But she likes you the most. That's not enough for you. It's not even enough for me, not after 5 months. That's damn near half a year. No, we're not going to do that. I could see if it was 5 weeks, but not 5 months. So you doing the right thing here. Just keep going in the direction that you're going rather away from her. Okay. She ain't the one. So I finished all my advanced letters, y'all. I'm guessing that nobody has a question. We did get a couple of interesting ones though. But that is what it is. Tomorrow morning I have to go to the gym again. Oh. You submitted a question. Oh, well then Sim girl, what screen name did you use? You can't submit the question here because it's too short. Just type your question here. What's your name did you use on Cash App? I see something here. I don't know who that was. Yeah, what screen name did you use on Cash App? Oh no. The car payment is due. I just got the bad news. I hate writing that check. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking for this young lady who said she had a question, but she tried to do it in Cash App. Nope, that can't do it there. What you do is you pay the fee and then you just let me know that you paid it in the screen name that you used on Cash App so I can match up the payment. Then I know that it's you. And then I can take your question, but I don't really see one. On the next show, okay, that's good. Oh, you use the oh, yeah. Well, by the time the show starts, I don't go over there. Those are people who a couple of these were from people who submitted theirs before, but I have to print them out before the show starts. So you can't really use that link during the show. That's why people either call in or they just put it right here. But yeah, we'll do this again in a couple of more weeks. It's usually the third Thursday. But yesterday, like I said, I haven't really been sleeping because of my kidnap moment when I do try to get in my car. So I just haven't been sleeping really well. And it's just been kind of interesting. But yeah, so I was exhausted. I couldn't do it. I would have been falling asleep on the camera. I do like the gym, but I told you about my friend. She evil. She evil. She be mean to me. I be trying to fake on some of my reps and stuff. And she like, no. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you so mean? Yeah, I do. Go on the is it on the Debstorism channel or the Surviving Dating? I don't remember. But yeah, I mean I tried yeah, it's on the link is on debstorism.com where it says get advice. There's some options there for the free one, which is hit or miss chance, or to get in the column. I mean, some people do and some people don't. Depends on Candace. But if you want, there's fee paid advice where I have definitely worked with people to help them get over particular humps that are kind of keeping them from meeting their goals. The things they've been getting in their own way. So we work on that a little bit. It usually doesn't take more than 1-2 sessions, and then they're straight because you come to it with one issue, maybe two. It's not like you what the psychological thing where they coach you through your entire life. Mine is like crisis coaching. So you have an issue, a particular thing that you're trying to deal with that's confusing you, that's hurting you, that you don't know how to handle. We deal with that one thing, and then you go on and you have the tools to make it work for you. And so that's how I do it. I don't want to be like seeing somebody every week for an hour while they moan and groan on my couch. I just don't want to do that. That was my minor in college, and I quickly realized this was not a life. I ain't about this life, because I would be tired of listening to somebody say, "Why are you coming here every week, neat and just whining and shit? Do something about that bullshit. You just sitting up here on this couch wasting your time and wasting your life whining." See, I know that would be me, and I would say something like that, and then I would lose my license. So there was like, well, it's pointless to even try to get one, to just turn around and give it back after 55 years of schooling. I would be mad. So I changed my major. I'm like, oh, I don't need to be doing all that. So there you go. That's the history of why I am an advice columnist instead of a psychotherapist. I'm not trying to do all that. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go visit my cousin Joy and all her family tomorrow because I haven't seen them for a minute. And then I'll be back home on Sunday. So see how I feel. I might come back with some gossip and fire up my computer, be like, y'all, let me tell you, we got stuff to talk about. You just never know because I go to them little clubs up there when I go with them, and I always see some most amazing stuff. It's very interesting up there. So yeah, so you guys have a good evening, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for coming. But for those of you who asked your questions and made your super chat and cash app donations, thank you for your participation and your support. We'll see you guys real soon. Okay.